top 10 guy, and now we've got maybe the most interesting match of the night, 9 versus 11. It's Shawver and it's Brown.
And these two have actually faced off before. Shawver got the best of BB, they call him, on the team last year, and was also a 2024 Big Ten champion for Rutgers. It was their first individual champ since 2019. So a big wrestler, and he's got an historical reputation at this school. But Braxton Brown is such an aggressive wrestler. He doesn't care about rankings. He doesn't care about accolades. He's all brute force and aggression.
He's got 2 more seasons, James. He's a redshirt sophomore. He's somebody that Maryland can really take a lot of pride in. I mean, he has really done a great job. He's just gotten better and better, and now he's got a chance to prove his mettle against Shawver, who, look, James, if you win the Big Ten with the current state of wrestling, that's almost as good as the Natty. It's just been incredible. I mean, Shawver can do it. You said it, the first champ for Rutgers of any class since 19.
And not only that, Tyler, he was their only guy last year for the Big Ten. So it's an impressive, and look at that elasticity by Brown to just stay away from Shawver and not allow him to get that leg for the takedown. This is going to be probably the most entertaining one of the match early on, at least from the numbers and what we can see. This is a good one, Brown-Shawver.
This could be a preview of a possible Big Ten matchup in the tournament this time around.
That's exactly right, Tyler. As we saw, I believe it was last year, the Big Ten Championships hosted here at Xfinity Center, just right next door to us.
Yeah, I think that Shawver likes coming down to College Park. That's the best moment, I'd say, of his wrestling career thus far, getting that big win.
Guys, stay out of that
in this same building just to our right. He's got to have confidence working here against a really talented guy in Brown.
And Brown's kind of all go right now. He's pushing the envelope against Shawver, not allowing, you know, an experienced guy in Shawver and you know, a leader for these Scarlet Knights to play with him, mess him around. Brown with a near takedown. This is going to be one of those that honestly probably comes down to decision win. These guys are so aggressive. They're going to get their points back and forth, and it's a slow start, but you know, there's a little bit of aggressive moves going back and forth between these two, and near takedowns, to say the least.
I think you said it well earlier, James, when you just said elusive. That's what both of these guys are. It's so hard for one of them to just really get their hands on the other.
Yeah, you think you can shoot and get that leg for a takedown. They pop it out split second. Not even talking last second, as the referee is telling them to, you know, keep the hands away from each other and the finger interlock. That's not what they're looking for here. That can be dangerous. As that one's going to kick off the end of this first period in our second bout of the night. Scoreless on both sides. Rutgers a 5-0 lead in the team standings over the Terps. And we're going to see some entertaining bouts throughout this whole way. But so far, I mean, it's Shawver from Ohio and Brown, the Texas native. A little bit more Midwest, I would call it. You know, when you get to Ohio, not that far from here compared to Texas. But these two, I mean, definitely not Eastern Shore guys, that's for sure.
This is a big opportunity for Brown to take the lead if he can get away. You really want to get out of here before that clock gets to a minute, James.
And Brown looking to stay on his feet. No takedown point yet. He's got to get those knees down, and Braxton Brown's looking to get out of that.
2, up, 1.
Speed is just incredible.
Sprawling back and forth. That looks like that's going to be a near takedown for Brown, but nothing yet. No points have been awarded. They're playing on the outside. Shawver's trying to keep that foot in bounds. You can see what an away for Brown to get out of that and stay away from points. Coach Clemson, you can get a look at that. He is talking to the referee about potential points.
I was saying it out loud.
Coach Clemson's upset because the referee was swiping, looking like he was awarding points to Shawver, but the referee's saying that's not the case. It did look like he was swiping points like near fall, but that's not the case, and Braxton Brown thought that is what was happening, Tyler, so you can obviously expect him to be a little bit confused if the referee's awarding points, or looks like he is, for another wrestler. So Maryland's coach in Clemson a little bit frustrated.
Well,
reasonably
after all
so.
that, it's still 0-0. It's still knotted up here. And again, if you're Brown, you really want to try to get out before that clock hits a minute. Because, you know, in a matchup as close as this one is, that ride time point could be everything.
As that's going to be a potential takedown. Brown's able to stay away here. Nothing yet. I think it's the reaction time that the referee's looking for. So after a takedown or a potential takedown, the referee gives the defensive wrestler a little bit of takedown time.
That's going to be a stall point, James, given to Brown.
And Braxton Brown looks like he's going to get a reversal on a potential takedown here. We're waiting to see what the referee awards. Brown's got him in a tough spot, and he's able to keep these feet in bounds. That's the most important part about playing on the edge of the mat. Brown with just a fantastic reversal and the stall warning, like you mentioned.
Who's it? Who's bleeding? You. Go.
And if you're Shawver, all you can really do is just try to get yourself close to the end.
You could just see this sprawling by both guys. It looks like Shawver's got Brown in a dominant position here and going to give takedown points. That's not the case.
He's not bleeding, is he? Okay.
Ultimately awarded points to Brown, and it looked like there was some blood time. That's the break we're taking right now, as Coach Scott Goodale of the Scarlet Knights is verbally upset. I mean, this is one of those matchups where you know that both coaches are going to be rooting for their guys and backing them to the fullest extent, especially with the history of Rutgers dominating the Terps and the Terps changing the way things look in the Big Ten.
Yeah, we've got arguments from both sides. The crowd has been awesome for this 133 showdown. Let's take another look at how Brown gets his points there. On the reversal, after the stall warning gave him point number 3. That's big time. You know, it's not just an escape, James. You grab the 2 extra points as well. He cuts into the ride time.
You know what I mean? I do.
That's exactly right, and there was a little bit of blood time there for Shawver. It looked like right up, you know, on his cheekbone near his eye had a little bit of blood.
We got a warning on red.
We're gonna get going soon. Here's looks like Shawver's gonna start on bottom here, and Brown's gonna try and tick on some riding time. He's gonna try and reverse the way things look.
Again, now with the ride time under 1, James, you're just trying to get it down as far as possible, because if you're Brown, you're going to start on top of the 3rd.
And Brown's just going to keep going with these mat returns. He's going to do what he can to stay on the back. That's an escape point for Shawver, though. Great work
Really
from him.
wanted to hang on for those last 10 seconds if you're Brown. That's clutch there by Shawver to get out of it just in time.
As that's going to tick off the last couple seconds of this first period.
What do you want to do?
And here are some of these mat returns. Brown just furious, trying to keep those locks, and you see a sprawl there from Shawver, eventually able to get out of that. And that's unfortunate for Brown to end the first period.
Shawver opting to just meet in the middle. He doesn't want to get on the bottom. He doesn't really care, I guess, about that point, because remember, James, he's close to getting that ride time point. I think he is aiming for that takedown here, trying to take it that way rather than just making it 3-2 by escaping.
Right, and we saw, you know, Shawver taking the down stance first, but that looks like a single leg from Brown. Experienced wrestler of Shawver not letting him get the back. That's what the referee's waiting on to see if he'll give him the point. Possibly some swipes here for Brown. Nothing yet.
And there it is.
There's 3 near fall points here, ticking them on for Brown. Get that one shoulder blade down, the other at a 45-degree angle. That's all you really need to get those points. And the Maryland sideline is hyped up, Tyler, right now, especially because this is a big match, and BB is coming out firing like a gun.
Set.
Little early release there
You guys both
from
need to slow it down.
Shawver.
Both need to slow it down. Wait for that pause.
A couple more of those, and that could be a point for Brown.
And now if you're Brown, you know, trying to get that major decision. It's not out of the realm of possibility, James. You're up 6-1. If you can get some swipes here, maybe you can cut back into that lead after we saw with the 125s.
Great mat return from Brown here. Another one. Look at the sprawl action, though. These two acrobats, man, these guys know how to get out of takedowns, out of back control. They are experienced professionals at this point. And now, in another angle there, you can see stall call here from Brown. Interesting. First warning, no points awarded yet.
The Rutgers bench is screaming for the stall point to come, and it will. It's 6-2.
As now Brown able to get the escape point out of there versus Shawver. Shawver's got some ground to pick up here. He needs a takedown.
Ties it.
These two guys are hungry. There's 10 seconds left. 8, 7, couple more seconds left. The takedown could tie it, bring this one to sudden victory. Will it happen? Shawver's got to go now. It's not going to happen. Braxton Brown getting the upset here in College Park versus a Rutgers opponent that was looking to get 2 back-to-back. Maryland's going to hold on to this one. Give them the win at 133. Braxton Brown looking to not repeat history, take another loss to Shawver. He says no, sir. He'll take this one home with him.
That was just a war. This is the experience certainly favors Turley. He's the DMV guy out of Chester, Virginia.
6th year at Rutgers too, Tyler. He's a homebred guy in terms of how long he's been at this school, and he's been at 174 for 5 of those years. So this is tough if you're Branson John to face a guy with this much experience at the collegiate level at this weight class too. Turley with just so much strength up top. Branson John gonna have to get some quick work, or at least try and keep this match within arm's reach. Headgear of Turley coming off there. Have to get that settled. Always thought it was interesting too, Tyler, with these two wrestlers, the hair length is incredible just because of how hard it might be to see sometimes. That getting in the way. Probably adds maybe a pound or two. Maybe a fraction of a pound. Doesn't change much there, but
this is a guy in Turley, James, a 3-time NCAA qualifier. He's placed twice in the Big Ten, 4th and, well, this past year, and then 7th 2 years ago. He's got so much experience, so much talent, and it's just really tough here for John, the freshman, to go against that in just his first year.
John was a highly touted recruit coming out of high school, also a Clovis, California guy. As you can see, there's sort of a trend here from Maryland in that regard, but gonna have a bright future here at Maryland if he stays with these Terps and sticks with his program and has that belief in himself. He's just had a tough run of competitors that he's had to go at this 174 class. I mean, this is one of the toughest classes in all of college wrestling.
It's another Clovis, California guy, Seth Nevills, who we will see later on, and Dario Lemus, who already went from that same town, as you mentioned earlier.
Saw a guy like Carter Starachi of Penn State being at this 174 class in previous years, and since moved up to 184. That's a good look if you're a 174 competitor.
Yeah, John, he projects he could kind of go either way. Is he going to be at 174? Is he going to put up on some more muscle, go up a weight class? You don't know what Clemson is going to decide. They're spinning around now in the middle.
Great defense here from Branson John. Able to keep Turley at a distance, and they play up top a little bit, but not allowing Turley to shoot low and get the legs of John. He's grown so much over the course of the season and faced multiple ranked wrestlers. Now John gonna look to do something here, maybe soon, down 2 points, and John's gonna shoot low at the legs here.
It's a good job for him to turn his body around and avoid a situation on his back that could lead to swipes.
You can see the hooks in from Turley. He's going to try and get a reversal here.
3 right at the buzzer. Oh, and they're going to wave it off. Rutgers' bench is fired up. Maryland is saying, no way is that 3.
And here's another replay of these last couple seconds. And we're going to see a challenge flag or cone, whatever you want to call it, just thrown out by Coach Goodale of the Scarlet Knights. And he's going to say the time was out.
You're looking for a takedown
From the Maryland sideline. The refs are going to look this over. At the end of that first period, this is a monumental match for both the Terps and the Scarlet Knights. This really decides how the rest of the match looks and how the rest of tonight looks at Friday Night Lights.
Yeah, you can see that challenge brick just go flying out.
He's had that one loaded, Tyler. He was trying to get that on the last match.
We've seen him hanging on to it all night long.
I don't think he's set that code down. He's had that thing in his back pocket. Been hiding, but he was eager to throw that one out, and he saw his opportunity, and a good one. I mean, if you're the Scarlet Knights to throw that out, I mean, it gives you a greater lead.
That's the difference between 6-1 and 3-1, and that's huge.
Exactly, especially at the end of this match. It's early on, too. That kind of dictates things. That'll make Branson John more aggressive, and if you talk about a little about psychology of wrestling, if John's going to try and be aggressive the whole time, you can play a little bit more defense. We can see the seconds ticking down. No real points awarded yet, but then the referee throws up the 3, but it looked like the clock was out. This is going to be an interesting case.
Well, and then he inspects closer and says no and changes his mind. All right, let's see the call here from the referee. No takedown.
And that's going to lose a challenge. That doesn't give Rutgers any more challenges for the rest of this match in particular in this 174 matchup. So loss of the cone, but we're not going to see any more of that anytime soon, Tyler. He's going to have to keep the
He finally put it down. It's still up on the table. It's out of his reach.
Yeah, they took it from him. Not going to get that back yet until the next match, but
again, how about the job that Scott Goodale has done at Rutgers? 18 years. He has built consistency. I mean, that really is what he has done. It's just another great program in the Big Ten, and he deserves so much credit. We talked earlier tonight about how Alex Clemson backs his guys. You better believe Goodale does as well with that quick challenge. It's a good job by John to get out of that.
It's a great job by the young freshman to just maneuver out of that, work the hands of Turley. John's going to look to be a little bit more aggressive here. This is the most I think I've seen him comfortable against a ranked opponent this season. And he's keeping this one close.
Now remember, Turley gets to start on the bottom.
This is one of those things where, you know, you can compare experiences, right? Turley, 6 years of wrestling at the collegiate level. Branson John, true freshman.
But the sky is the limit, I think, for this kid John, for Maryland. You know, you get him out of California, a place that has been so good to Maryland. Just time and time again, you see Clemson making trips out west. 3 guys that are going tonight for the Terps are from the same town in California. I mean, that's just insane.
Exactly right. Branson John being patient with this. Still about 10 seconds left in this second period of action at 174. Be our second bout since the intermission. It's proven to be a real close one for both teams as they'll get a quick second break. Nothing substantial. Definitely don't get to get any water, Tyler, but we're going to see who's going to be choosing bottom here. Looks like Turley's going to do that. If you're Branson John, this is an opportunity to take away some of that riding time. If you can hold him for 17, 18 seconds instead, I lie, that's both these guys back on their feet. So Branson's going to want to take away that riding time advantage. If you're Branson John, It's more so a Jackson Turley decision here to stay on your feet. He may have wanted to get another escape point there, but.
Well, I think that Turley is happy with where the ride time is right now, and he doesn't want to eat into that. You know, if he can't get up quick, I think he's content to kind of see this go to 5-2.
That's exactly right, Tyler. If 18 of those seconds tick off, Turley has no longer the advantage in terms of riding time. So, but this is one of those where these two guys are tied up. It could go either way in terms of a takedown.
Oh man, how about that move by Turley to turn his body all the way around? The crowd is screaming for three and they get it.
That'll be three for Branson. John, what a takedown for the freshman over the experienced vet in Turley. That's gonna put him in the driver's seat. And now he's got the riding time control ticking down a little bit.
He's gotta hang on for 5 more seconds and it will take it away from 5-5. He's done it.
It's exactly what the freshman's done. Branson, John now in the driver's seat on the experienced vet in Turley, and John's going to look to stay on top here. Would be a big upset for the freshman and in the Terps.
Now, remember, James, if Turley gets out of this, if he escapes, it's going to be 5-5. But the ride time, getting that taken away, that's huge, because if he escapes, it will only be tied. John won't be trailing, and I don't think John wants Turley to have a shot to get up.
John's gonna try and stay in control here. Just a couple more seconds for the freshman. It's 4, 3, 2 seconds ticking off. Branson John with the upset, the freshman over the experienced vet. Branson John picks up driver's control in the 3rd period, and what a way for Maryland to get more team points on the board. A win by decision for the freshman over the grad student in Turley, and his big. Looks like we're gonna see John O'Donnell from the Rutgers. I'm not gonna see the Rutgers main guy at heavyweight in Yaroslav Slavakowski, but we're gonna see John O'Donnell, a senior. Great experience for Seth Nevills of Maryland, so graduate, both experience in college.
And this is still a great story. You know, Nevills has been one of the faces of this turnaround for Maryland. I remember being on the call when Maryland beat Purdue. It was their first ranked win in years. And it was because of Nevills and, you know, everybody else that was able to step up, that has been, you know, just building up this program. And now this is his final go at it here in the PAV. So, you know, even though Maryland is now out of contention to win this duel, it's still all eyes here in this building on Nevills to see how he will go out against a really talented senior in John O'Donnell, 7-3 on the year. He's been pretty good.
Stay in the middle.
And Nevills here, obviously these guys both strong up top.
Oh, they're listening to my premate.
No action yet in terms of points on the scoreboard. Versus control here from Nevills, you can see. Trying to make a move on senior night. Gonna shoot for the legs here as Nevills.
It's just so hard to, you know, maneuver another man who weighs 285 pounds. It's 3 for O'Donnell.
1, 2.
There's 2 points there on the reversal for Seth Nevills.
You know, I was about to say O'Donnell, you know, maybe he's throwing that script for Nevills to finish in style in the garbage. He's coming out here, he's saying, don't forget about me. But Nevills with that big reversal. And, you know, that's the thing about Seth Nevills. He's just not going to be down for long. You know, in the heavyweights, when points are just so hard to come by, it can be so easy to just lay down and just, you know, die. But that's just not what Nevills does. He gets that stall point, and now it's tied up. And now, James, if you're Seth Nevills, you're halfway there to getting into ride time point territory. Again, in the heavyweights, that can mean everything. That could be the difference. Can the senior, in his final showdown here at the PAV, find a way to close it out?
He's going to put both these guys back on the logo, and O'Donnell's still going to be on the bottom here, but he's going to really try and get out quickly because Nevills is just going to keep tacking on riding time almost to a minute here, so that'll be substantial. Might be able to do that before the end of this first period.
And again, I remember, you know, when Nevills came in from Penn State, he was there for 4 seasons. You know, he knows what a winning wrestling program is like. He comes to Maryland, he brings that mentality. He's really been a leader in this Terp locker room. And again, he's just trying to finish on a high note here in his final match at the PAV.
An escape point here for Nevills is big. But that riding time went down as O'Donnell had control there to start. Nevills going to try and shoot again. The experienced guy from Penn State you talked about also played football there, interestingly enough. This one's going to be another takedown for Seth Nevills on his senior night, looking to be in the driver's seat over O'Donnell. Thought he was going to face a familiar foe in Jaroslav Slavakowski. Did not get that matchup that he was salivating for. So he's looking to prove it here against JOD.
Last on red, 1 green. 1. Neutral.
Nevills is in full force right now. You don't typically see him being this aggressive. Usually likes for others to shoot, and then he can establish dominance. Nevills is going all out here as these guys are flying off the mat into the fan section. The family of some of these wrestlers that leave it all out there on the mat. Speak of one of them, it's Seth Nevills.
Nevills is in a good spot. Again, remember, John O'Donnell started out so strong with that takedown, but James, since then, a 10-1 run for Nevills.
Out.
These guys are going to be ruled out. Call there from the ref.
That Maryland bench is really letting their guy hear it.
If you're Nevills, you have a chance to finish off your potentially and probably, your last match of being here at home, the Pavilion, College Park. If you're Nevills, you want to win this one. This one means more than maybe all those others, right? This one's going to be called early. It's disqualification against Rutgers. Seth Nevills going to take the win here. Add more points on for his squad. That'll bring